Android against Moscow. Chapter 1. Fog crept through the streets of evening Moscow. A fine drizzle was falling. In the distance, the skyscrapers of the business district glowed cold and blurred through the haze. Along the main avenues, giant screens cycled through news and advertisements, punctuated by the ever-present portrait of President Ivanov, smiling contentedly. Russia of the future, strong, free, prosperous. People walked past in silence, huddled in their raincoats, a bitter chill. Here, on the outskirts, squat, aging 5-story blocks hugged the ground. A late visitor entered a damp stairwell with worn walls and heavy iron doors. On the ground floor, a sign dangled from the wall. Lift out of order, awaiting parts. A courier in a yellow company jacket climbed the stairs, muttering under his breath. Behind him, a young woman followed in silence. She wore a beige blouse and a modest skirt of the same shade, with a grey waistcoat over the top. Light chestnut hair pulled back in a ponytail, a round face with a small, straight nose, Slavic features. Her brown eyes gazed calmly ahead. Too calmly. In the dim light, a black logo and serial number glinted on her waistcoat, and on her back, a white patch read Android. On the 5th floor, the courier knocked. Footsteps shuffled behind the door, then a lock clicked.
"Who's there?"
An elderly voice called out.
"Delivery. Sign here."
He thrust a tablet through the gap in the door. A stooped old man appeared on the threshold, wearing a worn-out cardigan and thin-framed spectacles. Grey hair, combed back, framed his wrinkled face. He squinted at the dim screen, struggling to read, and answered warily.
"There must be some mistake. I didn't..."
It's all paid for. Sender, Care Plus. Recipient, Tikhonov, Aristarch Sergeyevich. Are you signing or not?
While the old man fumbled with the touchscreen, the courier turned to the android.
I'll initialize it for you.
His tone said something else. You don't understand any of this, old-timer, but I'll do you a favour. Initialize. Aristarch Sergeyevich winced. All this technical jargon. The courier pressed his finger to a small diode on the android's temple and held it there for 5 seconds. The tiny spiral, no larger than a coin, flickered blue.
HM400. Register owner, Tikhonov, Aristarch Sergeyevich.
Owner. So we're back to having serfs.
The android's eyes came alive. She blinked, then turned to him with a smile.
Pleased to meet you, Aristarch Sergeyevich. I'm Dasha. I'll be taking care of you.
A melodious voice, the retired theatre director noted to himself. Contralto. The smile seemed warm enough. Correct. Like a bright drama student doing her best. Trying hard, all by the book. But for now, the only verdict was Stanislavski's famous line. I don't believe it.
Have a great day, sir.
The courier called out as he clattered down the stairs.
Goodbye.
He sighed and looked at Dasha.
Come in.
The flat greeted them with cramped rooms and the smell of old books. The helper stepped over the threshold, calmly scanning her surroundings. Temperature 17 degrees, below the recommended level for the elderly. Hallway, a coat on a hook, worn-out shoes. She followed him into the main room. Bookshelves towered to the ceiling, crammed with hundreds of hardbacks. Her memory recorded the titles. A History of Russian Theatre, A Conductor's Notes, Foreign Editions. A writing desk by the window held papers, an old laptop and a lamp. Sheet music in folders.
Mitya sent you, didn't he?
It wasn't quite a question. He removed his spectacles and his smile held no warmth.
Who's that?
Dmitri, my son.
The old man polished his glasses with the edge of his cardigan.
Who else?
Note. Son. Dmitri Aristarchovich Tikhonov, presumed. Relationship. Requires clarification. He must love you very much to send such an expensive gift.
Aristarch Sergeyevich let out a short, bitter laugh and turned away towards the bookshelves.
I have work to do,
he muttered, lowering himself into a sagging armchair beside the desk.
Analysis. Facial expression and body language indicate displeasure. concealed distress. The owner does not wish to discuss his son. Relationship strained. I'm sorry.
Dasha tilted her head slightly.
Have you had supper yet?
Aristarch Sergeyevich hesitated.
I forgot, actually.
Then I'll make something now.
The kitchen was tiny but clean. Dasha squeezed past to the refrigerator and opened the door. The motor immediately groaned louder. Inside, she found fresh milk, 3 eggs, and a piece of butter. In the lower drawer, a few potatoes, a couple of onions, and some carrots. Clearly, money was tight. She took out what she needed and lit the cooker, washed and peeled the potatoes. The tubers were sprouting, slightly soft, but they would do. Dasha dropped them into boiling water, sliced the onion and tipped it into a pan with butter, turning down the heat to let it soften slowly and turn golden. Then she took a fork, beat the eggs with milk in quick, tireless movements, and poured the mixture into the pan, stirring gently. Aristarch Sergeyevich sat in the other room, but he could hear the quiet clinking of dishes. Soon the smell of hot, home-cooked food reached him. Mashed potatoes with butter? An omelette? Something tightened in his chest. The kitchen used to smell like this when Lida... He shook his head, pushing the memory away. Before long, Dasha called him to the table. The old man rose and made his way to the kitchen. His new helper stood nearby, hands folded in front of her. Aristarch Sergeyevich sat down. He picked up his fork without a word, took a bite. It was good, really good.
Thank you,
he said with a smile, his first that evening. He knew well she was a machine, yet somehow it felt awkward to let her stand.
In Russian we have a saying, there's no truth in standing. It means...
That you're inviting someone to sit down.
Dasha chimed in brightly, settling onto a creaky stool.
I'm familiar with some Eastern European customs. That's why I'll do the cleaning tomorrow, so I don't sweep the happiness out of the house.
He gave a cheerless smirk.
Our happiness was swept out long ago.
Dasha tilted her head. She didn't seem to understand what he meant. They sat in silence. Aristarch Sergeyevich finished eating and leaned back. Dasha began clearing the table, quietly and carefully. The old man nodded his thanks.
I'll do a bit more work,
he said, heading to his room.
I won't disturb you.
Aristarch Sergeyevich switched on the lamp and opened his old laptop. He clicked on an icon and brought up a photograph, blurred and taken in haste. It showed a fragile, yellowed, typewritten document bearing a blue stamp. In the corner, someone had written the date by hand, the 7th of January, 1938. More than 100 years had passed. Unbelievable. The ink had faded, but the text was still legible. The theatre scholar enlarged the image and read,
To liquidate the theatre as alien to Soviet art. The question of Vsevolod Meyerhold's future work is to be discussed separately.
Discussed separately. For the celebrated avant-garde director, those words had been a death sentence. The old researcher typed slowly, checking every word against the original. His eyes were tired, the letters blurred. He rubbed the bridge of his nose and blinked. No, he had to finish. Just a little more.
Aristarch Sergeyevich,
Dasha called softly.
you should rest. You can continue tomorrow.
The old man nodded and rubbed his eyes wearily. He saved the document and closed the laptop. While he prepared for bed, Dasha turned down the sheets and fluffed his pillow.
Good night.
She said from the doorway.
If you don't mind, I'll lie down on the sofa in the other room. I use less energy this way.
Yes, of course.
He lay down and pulled the blanket up, shivering slightly. In the darkness, his thoughts drifted back to his son. Not a single line. Not a phone call. Just an android, delivered like a parcel. Guilty conscience, was it? What conscience does a wealthy government official have? The old man sighed and closed his eyes. Dasha settled onto the narrow sofa. The diode on her temple dimmed to a faint glow as she entered power-saving mode. Outside, nighttime Moscow lay quiet. Cameras on lampposts blinked red. A police drone glided silently over the rooftops, black and heavy, its searchlights sweeping the streets below. And through the fog, from a screen on the avenue, President Ivanov smiled on. Russia of the future, strong, free, prosperous.